Welcome back to Cinderella. Today we're keeping it real, honest stories, real talk, and something that might feel a little like your own life. Let's get into it. So I've got a story for you today that really stuck with me. I was catching up with a good friend of mine last weekend. Let's call her Li Wei, not her real name. And as always, I got her full permission before sharing this. She was actually heading back to China to visit her parents, and over tea, she told me about this wild experience she had that honestly had me hooked. So Li Wei lives in Shanghai, and her mom finally convinced her to do something she's dreading. Visit the city's famous marriage market. You know how your parents can talk you into things you swore you'd never do? Yes, it was like that. She described it as jumping into freezing cold water. You know, it's going to be shocking, but you just have to do it. So here's the thing. In China, there's this crazy belief that once you hit 27 to 30 and you're still single, the tables completely turn. You're no longer the one choosing. You're just waiting to be picked. Or you're the one waiting to be picked. Li Wei is 33, so she literally asked herself, wait, am I really considered a leftover at 33? Because apparently, once you pass 27 in China, society slaps back on you. Or society slaps that label on you. She had to find out for herself if that was true. So off she went to the marriage market. Now, a little backstory. Li Wei is originally from Wuhan, a massive city of 14 million people. And for a while, she's been dodging her mom's calls. Not because she doesn't love her, but she knew exactly where the conversation will end. The marriage talk. For Li Wei, being invisible in a big city felt comfortable. But to her mom, Li Wei is basically and technically a depreciating asset. Her mom would say things like, "Your skin losing its bounds," or "You're not getting any younger." It's harsh, right? But Li Wei admitted there's some truth to it. She's an introvert, so going to the marriage market meant she would be stepping in a place where she would be judged. Normally on weekends, she'd just chill at home, relaxing and being herself. But this time, she put on her favorite dress and makeup, and then she headed for the marriage market. So on the way there, she was stressing, questioning if she was really ready for what was waiting. And that made her think back the time when she was 27 and almost got married, like it was that close. The guy's parents had even bought an apartment for them, which is super typical in China. Everything was set. But Li Wei felt this crushing weight of expectations, not just about the wedding, but about having a baby too. She realized deep down she wasn't mature enough to guide a new life into the world. She didn't want to say I do just because the clock is ticking. It was a painful choice, and honestly, sometimes she still wonders if that was her last best chance. Anyway, she finally arrives at the marriage market. It's tucked away in the quiet corner of the park, and then there's this sweet old man wishing her good luck. He was at the entrance and he told Li Wei that he's been married for 48 years. Sweet, right? The entrance of the park reminded her of a wedding arch. But once she stepped inside, chaos. The park was packed with stressed parents, or with stressed out parents. And there were these laminated A4 sheets everywhere, like laundry hanging out to dry, with details of different men and women, age, education, salary, height, and other detailed requirements. Everything condensed into one page. Parents trading info about their kids like they were swapping recipes. It really hit her how heavy marriage talk is in Chinese culture. So Li Wei decides to talk to an agent. The first question, what year you were born? She says, 1992. Never married? She said, nope, very single. Then the agent said, okay, let me add you on WeChat. Then boom, a long list of questions pops up on her phone, asking her height, weight, education, whether she has a stable government job. By the way, in China, having a stable government job means you are in the top tier status financially and professionally. Then questions followed such as, do you own a car or property? And get this, questions about her parents too. Their jobs, age, health status, even if they have insurance. Why? To make sure they won't become a financial burden that would affect a potential spouse. And also, can they still help take care of a baby? Because in Chinese culture, grandparents usually step in to take care of the little ones while the couple works. At that moment, Li Wei felt like her entire life has been reduced to a checklist, like a technical risk and reward evaluation model. Then, out of nowhere, a dad walks up to her and says, "Don't sign up with the agent." He immediately pitches his 35-year-old son, saying he earns 800,000 RMB a year. That's about 118,000 US dollars. He owns 3 apartments and a car. And he added, even with 10 family members, we can take care of you. Li Wei just listened, but she thought, this man just made his son like a soulless portfolio and made my family like a problem to solve. Then she walked away. The agent then added her to a WeChat group called Magic Group 7. She paid 350 RMB for that, around 52 US dollars. This is to get full access to potential husbands. She could feel the invisible pressure these parents carry. To them, their kids' life are like scorecards in a competition. At every family gathering, marriage and having kids, or having a family, are at the top of the checklist. For Chinese parents, giving up on their kids' marriages is like failing as a parent. And sometimes the whole family gets involved. So as she walked through the market, she saw agents everywhere, targeting distressed parents like easy prey. And then while she was walking, another dad stopped her and told her that he was impressed by her height. Li Wei is 5'6". She turned him down immediately, and then the father told her, or straight up said, "You're getting old. You'll become less valuable as the years pass by." She was offended, obviously. And then she sat down with another agent in a quiet corner, and then handed her a big catalog of people, like literally an inventory of humans. And on that time, Li Wei thought, will these people actually find their happy ending on an A4 page? Do they even know they're being presented like this? Well, the contact details are the parents' info, because the parents are the gatekeepers of their kids. When she asked the agent why the young people don't come themselves, the agent answered, they're busy, they're afraid, and they don't want to look cheap. And Li Wei wondered, did we become so busy that our parents is the one handling all of this? Is the one handling this marriage matters? Or did we just lose the courage to be vulnerable? Or maybe we just value our own happiness more. So another agent pulled her aside, and then the agent got all of her statistics, and after that, she then recommended her relative's son. But when she found out that Li Wei was from the same district as his father, she shook her head and warned, 5 generations need to pass before you can combine. Otherwise, you'll have bad luck, no babies, or have diseases. Li Wei, who has a successful career working with clients across 5 continents, was being disqualified by 19th century superstitions. She was so done, so she left. But here's the thing, once she walked out, the world suddenly felt wider. That knot in her stomach wasn't just about her mom's words anymore. It was this deeper collision between generations. Her mom and those parents in a park grew up in a time when safety meant blending in and marriage meant security. Their anxiety comes from love. Yes, but it's love shaped by fear. So for Li Wei and so many others her age, they grew up seeing a much bigger world. And maybe that's why young people are not showing up in the park. It's not that they've lost the courage to love. It's that the lives they built for themselves just don't fit inside those old boxes anymore. They're quietly refusing to live by a script written by the past, or written in the past. They've moved on. So Li Wei told me she just wants to be in a place where nobody's judging her. She prefers quiet spaces, where she's not waiting to be chosen, but gets to be the one choosing. Her mom was right about one thing. The marriage market is harsh, but so is reality. The world is changing. And for Li Wei, it's about one quiet choice. At the time, she wants to be the one to write her own beautiful script of her life. So, what did we learn from Li Wei's story? 1. Culture expectations are powerful, but they're not absolute. Just because society says you're on a timer doesn't mean you have to accept the timeline for yourself. 2. Love from family can come wrapped in fear and pressure. Our parents often push us because they're scared for us. But that doesn't mean we have to let their fears run our lives. 3. Your worth isn't a checklist. Height, salary, property, parental checklist, or your health. None of that defines who you are as a person, or your capacity to love and be loved. 4. It's okay to choose yourself. Walking away from expectations that don't fit is not selfish. It's self-preservation. Li Wei's quiet rebellion was simply choosing to live on her own terms. 5. The world is changing faster than traditions can keep up. What worked for our parents' generation might not work for us. And that's okay. We get to write our new rules. And honestly, that's all a lesson we could all take to heart. Let me know your thoughts in the comments. Have you ever felt pressured to fit into someone else's timeline? I'd love to hear your stories. And that's today's story. Thanks for being here, for listening, for showing up, for keeping it real with me. If this hits home, let me know in the comments. Your story matters here. I'll see you in the next one. Take care of yourself.